The Badami region of Karnataka is defined by its geology. Massive, sheer cliffs of red sandstone dominate the horizon, creating a harsh and unforgiving landscape. Tucked within these deep ravines was the ancient Tilakaranya forest. This dense, isolated woodland was home to an enclave of ascetic sages. But this sanctuary was violently disrupted by a demon known as Durgamasura. He systematically terrorized the inhabitants, slaughtering the innocent and pushing the sages to the brink of extinction. At the exact same time, a slow-moving, century-long drought strangled the region. The rivers vanished, the soil cracked, and whatever population escaped the demon's violence faced mass starvation. This concentration of suffering, immediate physical slaughter combined with slow ecological collapse, created a void. The people of Tilakaranya needed a savior who could wield enough violence to obliterate a demon, but also possess the gentleness to resurrect a dying landscape. Desperate, the surviving sages gathered to perform a massive sacrificial fire, a yagna, begging the cosmos for intervention. From the core of those roaring flames, Parvati manifested as Adi Shakti. An unstoppable, heavily armed warrior, she immediately confronted Durgamasura and violently crushed him. With the threat eliminated, the goddess looked upon the scorched, barren earth. The sight of her starving devotees moved her to deep grief. As she wept, her tears flowed into the dry riverbeds, quenching the earth's thirst. She then manifested vegetation, shaka, directly from her own body to feed the hungry, earning her the name Shakambari. This duality of martial power and maternal nourishment became inextricably linked to this specific patch of forest, anchoring the goddess Banashankari to the Badami cliffs. In the 7th century, this forest myth moved from oral tradition into political reality. The rising Chalukya Empire adopted the fierce warrior goddess as their Kuladevi, or family deity. In 630 AD, King Jagadeka Malla I formalized this belief in stone. He commissioned a physical idol of Banashankari and enshrined her at the very site where she reportedly emerged from the fire. We can track the shifting rulership of this specific site through archaeological records. This historical scan details how the Badami region passed from the early Chalukyas to the Rashtrakutas, and later the Kalyani Chalukyas. During those early centuries, the physical structure housing the goddess was built in the austere, geometrically strict Dravidian architectural style typical of the era. By claiming divine descent from this fire-born warrior, the Chalukyas turned a regional legend into the centerpiece of their imperial identity. Every prayer offered at the site reinforced the religious and political right of the king to rule. Through a millennium of wars and falling dynasties, the site endured. In 1750, under Maratha chieftain Parusharam Agale, the temple underwent a massive reconstruction. Agale abandoned the older Dravidian blueprint, rebuilding the temple in the highly ornate Vijayanagara style, characterized by these elaborate stone pillars carved with mythical beasts. He also expanded the temple's foreground to include the Haridra Tirtha, a massive 360-meter square water tank surrounded by stone pavilions. Rising directly from the bank of this tank is the Victory Tower, or Deepastamba. Notice the distinct architectural anomalies here. The arched window openings and geometric latticework demonstrate an Islamic architectural influence integrated directly into the traditional Hindu structure. This physical layering, the Maratha reconstruction of a Chalukya shrine using Vijayanagara carvings and Islamic arches, demonstrates a site in constant dialogue with its conquerors. The architecture absorbed the aesthetics of shifting eras. Today, stepping off the sunlit courtyard and into the dark inner sanctum, you find the mythology actively practiced. At the center sits the idol carved from solid black stone. Banashankari is depicted with 8 arms, seated on a roaring lion, crushing the demon Durgamasura beneath her foot. The rituals performed here are highly specific. Devotees choose to worship her during Rahu Kala, a time of day strictly avoided in most Hindu traditions as highly inauspicious. During this window, they light half-cut lemons as oil lamps. The belief is that presenting these specific offerings during a negative planetary hour allows the goddess to intercept and clear away life's darkest obstacles. This translates the abstract narrative of a protector into a daily source of psychological comfort, especially for communities like the Devanga weavers, who have maintained her as their patron deity for centuries. The temple calendar peaks during the month of Pausha with the annual Banashankari Jatre, a massive chariot festival. Thousands of devotees physically strain against thick ropes, pulling an immense, towering wooden chariot through the streets of the village. It is a profound contrast. What began as a myth about a secluded forest is now an explosion of vibrant color, deafening drums, and communal energy. The physical effort required to move the chariot draws people together. Devotees push forward side by side, regardless of caste, creed, or economic background. The persistence of the Banashankari Jatre links modern Karnataka directly to the 7th century royal installation. The goddess who emerged from the fire remains the central focus of the community, 1,400 years after her image was first carved into stone.